And so here are 3 things you can do to find better staff that will not only stick with you, but do a great job while they're with you. Don't recruit people because their resume says they've worked at a restaurant for 4,000 years, and served, Moses back before everybody was alive. Restaurants have a notoriously high turnover rate. First is write your training program before you post your ad. So how are you going to train the new employee? If that's not already well, written down and documented, then take some time to write that before you post an ad. If you're more organized, it actually signals that you're not just a temporary job looking for temporary people. So the more that you can communicate expectations to people, the more that they'll understand that, okay, we're looking for people who are willing to make a career out of this, or at least a long-term job with it. Second, so here's one of the little things that I've done, and that is just put a little bit of homework in the ad. So in the how to apply ad, and it can be something super simple, like, okay, tell me about 2 restaurants that you really like and what you like about them. Type that up in your response to me for this application. And then anybody who doesn't do that, you've already learned something about them. They're not going to follow instructions. Honestly, delete. Get rid of those. And so just a teeny little bit of homework. All you're trying to see is whether they follow instructions. Literally, probably in my experience, 7 out of 10 won't. And I've never felt bad for hiring somebody who did follow the instructions. If you write your training program up and have that documented down before you post your ad, you'll write a better ad, you'll find the right kind of people, and then you don't have to worry about it after they show up. Here's the 3rd point, and that is recruit for attitude, train for altitude, and then reward for amplitude. Now, that's a lot of big, complicated words. I'm surprised at how many times people, they just, okay, we've got a staff hole somewhere, but they're not really sure what the hole is. Take just a minute to define, and that is you're much more likely to find the type of people you want. You're looking for a particular kind of attitude and some strengths, and so you're recruiting for attitude. What you're trying to do is position people so they feel like that there's some future. Okay, so altitude is how high an airplane gets, and so actually thinking ahead about here's the next step up. Maybe you're a server right now, and then the next step up is here. And then the reward for amplitude. Amplitude is nothing more than how much variability you see in any kind of a system. Consistency is the name of the game. And so recruit for attitude, train them up, and then reward for amplitude. Reward people who consistently produce good results, not people who come in and they're amazing for a little while and then they disappear and then they're amazing. An example of this, by the way, is one of our most entry-level positions. We had an employee come in that was looking at one of our most entry-level positions. Today, they're 3rd in command. They had no education, but I could just see they had an attitude that wanted to learn, and they were an eager worker. And so I just put out in front of this person, if you keep, here's the next step up and here's the next step. They were eager to do it, and they were always consistent. If they had questions, they would ask them instead of making a stupid mistake. And today, they do more for our business than almost everybody else. And then they're grateful, because if you go out there and you talk to a lot of people, the biggest frustration is, I don't qualify for a job until I have experience. I can't get experience until I qualify for a job. We're looking for people with attitude who we can give the experience. We've gone from where in the restaurant the owner was running everything to where we now have a staff of not quite 100 people who take care of everything, and the owner is mostly checking in to make sure that things are done right. Because there's so much profit with the machine running as a machine, it's expanded now into multiple things. They have a food truck, they have an ice truck, they have a lot of stuff that they're doing because the staff takes care of most of the stuff.